Hi, my name is Martin Salazar, and I'm gonna give my opinion about authoritarian regimens. As we know, the last century we suffered one of the greatest murders of all the time. Millions of people gave their lives for the ideas of a small group of persons. Persons who, using a charismatic speech, put themselves in the power, and after that they use the force for stay there. They never mind about who they hurt in the process, and for this reason I consider the authoritarian regimens are not good for the society. So the authoritarian has been represented by so many political leaders. For example, exists a person who support the idea of fascism, like Hitler, Mussolini, or Franco. They consider themselves from extreme right, what means they are very nationalism. They try to be very conservatives, and also they don't support the idea of a democracy. Even that, they do so many good things at the first of his regiment mandatory, but after a couple years they provoked so many destruction and atrocities for the society. Uh, so just an example is the regiment of Nazis from Hitler. They had 6 millions of murders. Other idea is the socialism, who is a totally different from the fascism in every sense. That is considered of left, and what this ideology support is the democracy, the freedom of expression, and the first and the main objective is give the power to the people, and not only to a single president. Sadly, as we know, the Soviet Union was so many murders in their mandatory, and that because the leaders of the republic, who was Lenin and Stalin. But these atrocities was not only for the Soviet Union, because his neighbor, the Chinese Republic of Mao, has a number also ridiculous, was very close to 60 millions of deaths. Finally, the final idea is no matter how hard we try to do with the pass of the years for evade that kind of injustice, they still happen. And one of the most clear example is our neighbor Venezuela. As we know, they found a way to destroy the democracy and put a dictatorship in the power. In consequences, a million of Venezuelan citizens has to migrate to avoid starving, and other of the Venezuelan citizens stay in their country to fight for remove Nicolas Maduro from the power. Despite to the evidence, despite to this evidence crisis, the president Nicolas Maduro refused to leave the power, and after a couple years, the situation is worse. Um, for conclude, I consider the authoritarian regimes contribute negative to the society, and that because it was demonstrate the leaders try to keep the power, and they don't care the actions for keeping it. So in my consideration, no matter the ideology, the country context, or the capacity of the president on the duty, the authoritarian regimens are not good for the society.